It's man versus beast, and nation versus nation. The best bull riders in the world competing for global bull riding's international prize, the PBR Global Cup.
The ride turned round the world.
The 2019 WinStar World Casino and Resort Global Cup.
February 9th and 10th, it's Team USA versus the world.
Howdy, fellas.
What? The Global Cup bull riding. I know you're a fan of bull riding, because who's not a fan of bull riding? So that right there lets you know. AT&T Stadium, Cowboys, where the Cowboys used to play. I don't know what day it is where you are, but it's day of no more football for the Dallas Cowboys. So I don't know, but a little fun fact for you guys. Before we jump into it. Of course, you are tuned in to the North Texas Farm and Ranch Report. This is your numero uno for 2019. We wrapped up 2018. It's time for 2019. A new year. Let's kick it off right. Talking about cow stuff, horse stuff, what's going on. But anyway, beside that, you football fanatics, because that's what fan means, fanatic, Dallas Cowboys are out of it. But I think if I seen right on the television, there's another Dallas team that's still in it, and you're like, what are you talking about? The Kansas City Chiefs. If you go back in the old days, there was a team called the Dallas Texans.
What are you talking about?
Back in the 60s, there was a couple of teams here in Dallas. Dallas Texans. They said, you got to go. Dallas Texans, you guys got to get out of Texas. There's not enough room for that many football teams in Texas.
Well, you're the expert.
Well, you said it, not me. But anyway, the Dallas Texans moved way up yonder, went north to Kansas City, and they became known as the Kansas City Chiefs. So if anybody ever wants to know a fun fact for a trivia game, if you happen to be playing one, the Dallas Texans turned into the Kansas City Chiefs. And then many years later, Houston, the Houston Oilers, they went to Tennessee and became Tennessee Titans, had no idea to come up with a name for a team. Like, we have no idea a name for a team, so let's figure out what team used to be in Texas, and we'll just steal that name. And then Houston became the Houston Texans, copying the Dallas Texans. Why everybody wants to copy Dallas, I don't know. I have no idea. But that's what happens. Anyway, enough of that football talk. Let's talk about cow stuff. Let's talk about what's going on right here on the North Texas Farm and Ranch Report. I got some stuff for you tonight, today, this evening, this afternoon, this morning. Depends on what time your ear holes are focused on this. We got some stolen cattle. If you keep your eyes out for that. The Cattle Raiser Convention is coming up. Scholarship opportunity if you got a youngster that's looking to follow along in the agriculture field. We got that. Those of you that are not listening to this, that are watching this, wondering what's going on and why the color looks weird. Yeah. Somebody put the wrong light bulbs in the light fixture today.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, did you do it? Is that what the problem is? You did that?
No.
Oh, are you all right? Then who put the lights in here? That's what I want to know. Who put the lights? Who changed these light bulbs out?
Dale.
All right. Well, if you say so, we'll blame it on Dale. But anyway, that's why if you're looking at it, you're like, wow, you look yellow. You got jaundice? No, I don't have jaundice. All right, what was I at? Scholarship opportunities. I'm going to tell you about that. Then we'll jump into the market reports. The market reports, man, I don't know. There's been a lot of talk about the beef fluctuation market with the trade wars and the tariffs and all the hoopla going on right now. So that's kind of where everything's at. Calving. When you're calving, when are you castrate your bulls. When you got a bull calf, you think, you know what, this calf is not going to be somebody's baby daddy. We got to end that. When do you do it? Do you do it when do you do it? Well, someone did a study because everybody likes doing studies. So we got a study on studies about studying castration. So we're going to tell you about that. If your fence is down, somebody run over your fence, what happens? What does the law say about it? Well, I stumbled across an article from a lawyer, and we're going to tell you what the law says. Then we got some quarter horse stuff for you about the American Quarter Horse Association, because a lot of us that run cattle also ride great American quarter horses. So we're going to tell you about some quarter horse stuff and a little bit of horse news as we round that out. So what I'm going to do right now, jump into stolen cattle. The Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raiders Association, District 5 in southeastern Oklahoma, which, that sounds funny. They reported that 31 bred cows from a property a mile and a half north of Bryan County line in Atoka County, sometime after the 4th of January. A thief or thieves, because it probably would take more than one to get 30 head of cattle out of there. They cut the fence, took 30 polled Herefords and 1 Red Angus, heavy bred cows. They have a HM connected brand on their right hip. So keep an eye out for HM, not HM Magazine. That's a whole different thing. HM connected brand on the right hip and ear tags in various colors. So does that mean these cows got rainbow ear tags? Because that would make more sense if they're tagged with various colors. Or are you one of those that just buys whatever random ear tag and stick it on your cow? I don't know. I can tell you something about ear tags, though. Anyway, if you happen to run across some polled Hereford, some big bred polled Hereford cows, or some cows that have recently calved, because it doesn't say how bred they were, if they were heavy bred or light bred cows. But if you run across somebody making a good deal on some polled Herefords with a HM brand on there, be leery about that. Maybe go check them out. And then if you do, call Texas Southwest and Cattle Raiders Association. Ring a ding ding them. Let them know, hey, this is what I stumbled across on the internet, because everybody is selling cattle on the interweb net. So do that. And then ear tags. Multicolor ear tags. No, don't do that. Here's what we do. We run. I wrote a story recently. If you go to pepperstrip.com and click on press releases or hot off the press news or one of those links in there. Anyway, I wrote a story recently because the cattle traceability was going around. And if you're not sure, the article that I wrote was also published recently in Beef Magazine, and it also comes out in next month's edition of the North Texas Farm Ranch Magazine, something like that. North Texas Farm and Ranch Magazine. I don't know. Anyway, it's coming out in there too, and then it's been syndicated to a bunch of other publications because apparently they like the words I put on the paper, which that rarely happens. When it does, hey, blind squirrel finds a nut from time to time. Just don't choke on that nut, because you'd be a blind squirrel choking on a nut, and that's no good. Ear tags. In that story, I mentioned ear tags because the story I wrote was about traceability, because all these stories on the internet about cattle traceability and can we trace cattle and where'd our cows come from? Where'd they go? How many times were they shipped to here, to there, to where? Well, let me tell you something. I went to Ireland recently, and while I was in Ireland, I learned something about cattle. Their cattle marks are a little bit different. I went to the Cashel Mart over by the Rock of Cashel, the Cashel Mart. I visited with that sale barn a few times, and there's a possibility we're going to have somebody from that sale barn on the show or on my other show at some point to talk about the cattle sale and the cattle market, how it works over there. Well, anyway, traceability is a big deal over there in Ireland, and the more times that cow, say when that calf's born, the more times that calf has been sold, you get docked. You get I guess like negative points. So the more times that cow changes hands, decrease in value. So think about that. Dr. Pepper, I'm not going to be drinking that. I've been on my good health kick. This last week I've had 2.5 Dr. Peppers to make the half. But traceability is a big deal over there. And so we talked a lot about, how different things happen. And like over here in the U.S., especially here in North Texas, I see tons, and you may be one of them, of a sale barn trader, a calf sale barn trader. I know there's a lot of horse trading going on, a lot of horse traders going on throughout the years, and a lot of that, horse dealings. But I've realized here recently, over the last couple of years, that sale barn calf trading is a big deal. And, you got folks that go to the sale barn. They're going to the sale barn on Saturday, buying 4 or 5 calves, pulling tags off, jacking the price up. And by Monday, they're on the internet on these Facebook sites for sale. And I'm like, what in the world? And what's funny about that is I went to a local sale here. Oh man, probably been a couple months ago. I went down there. I'd hauled some calves, and if it dries up enough, I got some more calves I need to get rid of. And I was down at the sale, dropped some calves off. I had one of our customers that we do some cow business with, that we tend to their cattle and stuff like that, and they were in the market for some calves. They want a couple of calves to feed up, raise up, whatever. I don't ask that many questions. When they ask me, I go. And they're like, hey, can you go down there and check us out? Check out some calves, see if you can pick us up a couple of good calves, whatever. Okay. So I go down there, pick up some calves for a customer, and I'm watching the calf sale. And I go in there, I bust out, bid a couple of calves, pick up a couple of calves. I bid on, 4 or 5 different calves, but when they've got their price market, what they want to spend on their calves, and so anyway, some of them I had to let go, a couple of them I got, and the very next day on these Facebook market groups, I'm looking at the same calves that I bid on Saturday. On Sunday, they're for sale on the dang Facebook Trader. And I'm like, well, it happens. It happens. People got to make a living. They got to deal in calves. But my thinking is, a lot of the folks that are buying off this Facebook market, those of you that go on there, I don't know, send me an email if you're a frequent buyer of the Facebook markets. Send me an email. Tell me how your transactions have went, because I'm just curious to how many of these people you go buy cattle from, or you go buy calves from, that tell you, yeah, I got this calf for sale. I bought it Saturday for $275, $300, anywhere between $270 and $300. I bought this calf yesterday, and when you come and bought it today, it's $450. But as far as the price, hey, shipping, handling, whatever. But when you go buy a calf, I'm just curious if you've run across people that said, yeah, I buy and sell calves all the time. That's what I do. I'm a calf trader. I go buy and sell cattle. I go buy and sell calves. I deal in the livestock market, not in the paper stock market like a lot of folks. Are they truthful with that, or are they kind of BS their way around it? I'm just curious, because whenever I put calves up, I've got, 6 or 8 heifers that I need to sell. If it dries up enough, I'm going to haul them to the sale. And a couple of steers I need to get sold. And I've put them on the Facebook markets. I put a video out there on there, Facebook market, and I put them on Craigslist and stuff. And most of the questions I've been getting on these calves is, are these sale barn calves? And I'm like, what do you... And then I got, the wheels got to turning, got to think. I was like, you know what? And so I was just curious. I was like, no, these calves are here. Their mama's here. Come look at them. Come look at their mamas. The daddies, they rotate. The daddies rotate from time to time. But the mamas are here. Come look at the mamas. Come look at the babies. They're here. Come look at them. But anyway, enough of that. I'm just curious. I'm just curious about that. So if you're a calf trader on these marketplaces, let me know how the transactions go and things. If you're a buyer of those calves, send that too. I'm just curious how it works. I'm not knocking either one, because you got to make a living. It's no different than a horse trader that goes and buys a horse at the Selborne Saturday morning and goes down south a couple hours, and by 7 o'clock at night, his horse is back for sale at the other sale. There's a lot of that going. A lot of stuff like that goes on. A lot of stuff. I feel bad for the folks that are not savvy to that type of stuff and get caught up in it. A lot of times you get a good deal. You can run across a great deal. That's not what I expected.
I heard you.
All right, dang, come on, man. All right, so anyway, sorry about rambling about that. Ear tags. That's where I came into it, because I talked to a couple of these Selborne calf cow traders. Matter of fact, my son has bought some cows. He bought a couple of cows from one of these Selborne traders, and there's a guy here in he's east of us, out I guess around Canton, somewhere out that way, and he's a big time Selborne trader. And my son's bought some cows from him. Great cows, nice gentle cows. They were bred like he said. They calved like he said. Great cows. So there's some folks out there that's doing it the right way. But what I was mentioning about all that hoopla was the article I wrote about traceability. It took me 10 minutes, but I circled back around. Come back around to the traceability. That's the big thing in the news. There's a bunch of feed yards somewhere up north of feed yard come up with an idea of a traceable tag. Oh, we got a tag that we're going to scan and trace and put in a database and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay. So they had contacted me and with the Texas feed yard or feeders up here in Texas. I talked to some of them. Then they sent me. I got an email from somebody. I emailed them back, and then some kind of Texas feed yard or something or other. They called me and they said, "Hey, you want to be part of a program? This is blah 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 blah." I'm already doing that. My cattle are already traceable. They're like, what are you talking about? Well, here's the deal. I buy tags on my cows. My cows got 2 tags. One tag is going to say 7SC Ranch, and it's going to have a number 1 ear. The other ear is going to have a tag that says AgX with a scan label. It's got numbers and a scan label. And what that scan is traceability. So all my cows here got traceability, and they're also, I know RCAF, I know I'm getting ahead of myself in my stories, but anyway, RCAF and Beef Quality and Beef Assurance, all these guys are all bickering back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Beef Quality Assurance, if you want to be BQA certified, I went ahead and did it. It was free. I went online, Beef Quality Assurance certification. I went and did that for cow-calf operations. So it's pretty much what most of us do in the cow-calf business anyway, and that's what I did. So I went and got certified. So if it makes a difference, these calves are BQA certified calves. Well, anyway, they also got traceability, if that helps too. You say traceability, what does that mean? These tags on my calves, they're AgX tag. They got a barcode. You run that calf through a chute, scan that barcode. You scan that barcode. If you can't scan it, and you got an RFD wand, one of those RFD, R wands that scans ear tags, you use one of them too. One of those readers. Like you're a Luke Skywalker, Space Jam, Star Trek, Star Wars, one of those movies. I just made 50% of you mad. All right. You wand that calf, and then bam, information on your screen. Where this calf came from. What happened to this calf? What it do? Where it's been? What I did. You know why? Because when you work these cows on those ear tags from AgX tag, you can go on your computer, you can go on your phone, you can go on your tablet, anywhere you got access to the internet, you can pull it up. If you're working your cows, you don't have internet, it don't matter, because if you scan it on your phone, type it in there, do, when you get to internet service, bam, uploads to your network, so it don't matter. But anyway, everything we've done to these calves is on that tag. You scan it, bam. When we vaccinate these calves, what we vaccinated them with, what we done, all the stuff we did to these calves are on those tags. If you buy one individually, say somebody was to come out here and buy this pen of calves I got before I haul them off, then all you got to do is go down there to AgX, call them, hey, I just bought these calves, tag number blah 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 blah, and then they'll say, okay, well you got an AgX account. And then they say, no, I don't. Well, it's free. So you get one, it's free. Bam. Those calves are in your name. Information's there. Traceability. So you know where the calves came from. You know where they're going. And it's simple as that. I don't know why everybody's getting upset about thinking the government's in their business. Well, no. I just do it for my own self, because I'm not going to pay a couple $100 a month for a software to keep track of my cattle when I can use the AgX herd software for free, and all I got to do is buy a tag for $2 tag. Well, you know, a $2 RFD tag, that's about what they cost, $2. So that's just how it works out. I rambled way too long. I'll tell you what, let me jump on one of these other stories.
Rodeo fans, you're invited to the rodeo where $1 million dreams begin. The semifinals of RFD TV's The American, February 27th through March 1st at the historic Cowtown Coliseum in Fort Worth. Tickets and more. Go to AmericanRodeo.com.
Yeah, because you want to be there. Who does not want to be at the American? Semifinals, rodeo time, Fort Worth. Well, he said it. Why do I got to repeat it? I don't need to repeat it, do I? Enough rambling. I think I upset half of you guys. The rest of you are like, what are they talking about? So that's fine. That's how it works. The Texas Southwestern Cattle Raisers, the Cattle Raisers Convention is going to be in March. Right now, not right now, but maybe right now, depends on what your time frame is on taking a gander at this. But anyway, the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo is coming up, fixing to happen. And a few days to it's happening in a few days to right now, depending on what time you take a gander at what's going on here. But anyway, so that's fixing to happen. And then next month in March, the 29th, 31st, is the Cattle Raisers Convention. You're going to want to be part of that. There's always a lot of stuff going on. Man, the Cattle Raisers Convention is good. If you're new to running cattle, or you've been running cattle all your life, it don't matter, because you're going to go down there and learn something. Because things are always changing. Something's always changing. Something's always evolving. So get down there and check it out. Another thing that's good with the Cattle Raisers Association, along with the Cattle Raisers Museum, is this. The Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Foundation is now accepting applications for scholarships for the 2019-2020 school year. The deadline to apply is February the 1st. So you have from now until February the 1st to get your kid or yourself, if you're a high schooler or a regular schooler. It doesn't say high school, does it? It doesn't say high school. I don't know if you watch a lot of what we do here, but proofreading is not one of those things. The foundation awards scholarships to deserving students who dream of working in agricultural sectors with majors that include animal science, pre-vet, agribusiness, range management, and wildlife, among others. Those selected on the basis of their interest in the industry, leadership in school, community, academic achievement, and financial needs. The application information on qualifications can be found online at cattleraisers.museum.org. cattleraisers.museum.org. Now, if you think that's a great idea and you'd like to help out or throw a little cash that way, then you yourself can also visit the cattleraisers.museum.org and throw a couple dollar bills, y'all. Check it out. All right, let's get into the market reports. I think I've rambled enough or way too much about everything else that we need to run into the market reports and see what is going on in the cattle markets. So I think that's what I'll do. You know, these sell barn reports, you know, livestock, it says livestock market reports. These reports can be found on the website, pepperstewart.com, pepperstewart.com. And these market reports, you know, you can find them. They're all on there. So check them out. Let's see what you got here. You got the if you're looking, whatever you're looking at, let's go to heifer. Let's say heifer. I got a bunch of heifers out here in the sale. More heifers and steers. So let's look at mine are probably about 4 to 5 weights. So right here at the Dahlia livestock auction, these heifers 4 to 5 weights run $1.65 a pound. And I'm going to do that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to continue with the 4 to 5 weights all the way across the board. 4 to 5 weight heifers, Emory livestock auction, 80 cents to $1.50. Athens, 85 cents to $1.40. Caldwell livestock market, $1.39 to $1.67. Let's go to Kinder livestock auction, and the heifers 80 cents to $1.30. Durant stockyards, Durant, Oklahoma, your 4 to 5 weight heifers, $1.15 to $1.52. Mid America heifers, $1.20 to $1.56. Red River livestock in Oklahoma, and there's a reason I said Oklahoma. Your 4 to 5s are $1.10, $1.50. Hamilton Commission Company heifers, $1.40 to $1.50. Your Red River in Louisiana, because there's a Coshada, Louisiana, your Red River, your heifers, 4 to 5 weight, $1.20, $1.60. Sulphur Springs, Texas, the net bio sale. I've talked to these folks a few times. If you Google on the tube of YouTube, you can find my visit with the net bio, what that's all about, as far as their preconditioned sale and how that stuff works. You can always find that in the list. They've got the calendar dates there of the sales coming up. J&J Livestock Auctions, heifers, 4 to 5s, $1.20, $1.52. Rika Livestock Commission Company. I probably said that wrong, but that's okay. Heifers. Well, I got this thing. Heifer. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. $1.25, $1.54. See, I told you we don't proofread anything around here. What's the point? It's not entertaining if you know what you're saying. All right, dairy. This is the dairy Silver Springs, so that's really not going to affect what we're talking about. But you go to Silver Springs regular livestock auction, your heifers 4 to 5 weights, 90 cents to $1.37. All right, East Texas livestock out of Crockett, heifers, $1.10, $1.68. Right here in Pleasanton, Texas, you got a big sale coming up on February the 9th at 1 p.m. You got a replacement heifer, a replacement female sale right there. They got 500 head of replacement females right there. They got pairs. Then they're going to have some pairs, some breds, some opens. They got a lot of cows going on. So check it out. Tri-County livestock right here. Your 4 to 5 heifers, $1.15, $1.30. El Campo. Let's see if you can make it smaller. How about that? Can you make a smaller report for me? That would be great. $1.31, $1.56. And then Decatur. Way up there in Decatur. I forget what joke that goes with, but it's not funny to anyone else. Heifers. Wow. Can't read that. All right. Let's say 65 to $65 to $1.62. That's not that good. Not so good way up there in Decatur, but hey, to each their own. Stuff happens. That's just how it goes. That's how it goes in the cow business. There's, people talk about the stock market up there in Wall Street. Well, the stock market down here, no different. It's not that much different. The risk is there. The reward is there. So it's all on what game you want to play. Depends on how active you want to be outside, I guess. You can be a stockbroker in the house. You can be a stockbroker outside. Just depends on where you want to spend your time. As far as I'm concerned, I want to spend my time outside. That's where I like to go. All right, let's talk about something else. Calves hitting the ground, and everybody always asks about this. Comes up in a topic of discussion a lot of times about bull calves, and everybody wants to know about castrating. When's the best time to castrate them bulls? Make steers out of them. So, as always, like we mentioned before, Everybody likes to do reports. There's always a report about a report. Always. Well, there's a fella by the name of Mark Hilton put an article together. And I took a gander at that article and I thought, you know what? That's some good information. I think I'll tell everybody about that. And so that's kind of what I'm going to do right now for you guys. So, Kansas State University, way up yonder. I don't know if Dorothy's there. Is she in Kansas anymore? I don't know. Kansas State University did a study because everybody likes studies. So their study showed that bulls castrated an average of 3 months and weighed 2 pounds more at 7.5 months than the intact bulls did in the study. So at 7.5 months, the bulls were castrated. They were put together. So what they did, they took a bunch of calves. They castrated some young. The bull calves, some of them they castrated young, and some of them they left alone. And at 7.5 months, they took the ones they castrated young and the other bulls and castrated them at 7.5, stuck them together and said, hey, let's see what happens. The steers castrated as calves gained 48 pounds, while the bulls that were recently castrated, they were about an average about 570 pounds. They only gained 33 pounds. So that is a lost potential gain of about 15 pounds. The late castrated bulls, they had to deal with the stress, the stress from healing. Of course, healing from surgery, yeah, it takes a little bit out of you, heal from surgery. Now, there's a fallacy out there. That's not my word. That's what Mark told me. That's Mark's words. His word is fallacy. It's a fallacy. Or myth, as you want to call it. That there is a positive testosterone effect that justifies not castrating your bulls till they're about 500 pounds. Everybody's like, well, don't castrate your bulls. Let them, beef it up about 500 pounds, then do it. That's a myth. Don't do that. Don't do it. It's a myth. When the bull calves were blood tested to measure testosterone levels, the high levels did not occur until 8 to 9 months of age. So, bulls castrated at over 500 pounds are going to lose weight for 2 weeks after castration. That ain't helping nobody. So basically out of that study, they're pretty much telling you that castrating your calves later is going to hurt you in the long run, so do it while they're young. If you got calves that you're running commercial cattle, whatever, you're not planning on making a herd bull out of him, he's not going to be your next grand champion, then it's best when he's young to be done with it. Let him grow off and be a big boy. The BQA, I mentioned earlier, probably upset half of you folks that are upset with not wanting to be a certified BQA. It's free. Come on, guys. It's free to be certified. It's on the internet. People are like, well, it costs a lot of money. Who's paying for all that? It's on the internet. Stuff on the internet. It's programming. It's this. It's not. There's nobody yeah, it costs money for the programs and whatnot, but it's not like you're going to class and teachers and all that. It's an online course. You go in there 2 hours, punch a bunch of buttons, and then when you get done, you print a certificate out if you pass. No big deal. Anyway, just take it. It's free. Just do what's free. Be BQA certified. Then you can have a big piece of paper like I got that says Beef Quality Assurance Certification. Well, everybody wants a piece of paper on the wall. You go to college for however many years you want to go, depending on what you want to do, to get that piece of paper to hang on that wall. Well, that's what I did. I got a BQA I hung on the wall. Why not? Anyway, enough BSing about BQA. The Beef Quality Assurance BQA, the guidelines on castration. They got guidelines on the castration. When you take this, they tell you all bulls. This is a quote from the BQA in the guidelines. I gotta. You know what? While I'm sitting here, I'll just throw this in your face here. I got a book right here. See my book? Beef Quality Assurance. manual. I got a manual right here, so I can tell you about that. Anyway, I'll put that over there. So here's the guidelines. In that manual, it tells you this. All bulls that are not herd sire prospects should be castrated as early in life as possible. Early castration is less stressful on bull calves. Preferably, castration should occur between birth and 4 months of age. Now, if you want to look at it again, and you think, okay, well, I'm RCAF certified. I'm not BQA certified. I don't know if there's RCAF certification. I just know that RCAF and the beef checkoff fight each other all the time on the internet, and I think it's funny. Anyway, American Veterinary Medical Association, they've got a policy also. And what is the American Veterinary Medical Association? What do they say about castration? Both dehorning and castration should be done at the earliest age practicable. Practicable? Practicable. Okay. Sorry. I didn't read that properly. Practicable. Why would you just say earliest age possible, not practicable? You trying to confuse folks? As a cow-calf producer, you don't want a stalker backgrounder and feedlot owners to make a very, what? We don't want, blah, blah, what? I don't know what I'm talking about here. The more blah, 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 blah. It's a bunch I ain't worried about that. Anyway, they did another study, or part of that study, about the castration. I'm not getting into that part because that's not, it's relevant, but it's not. Basically, the younger the bulls are, castrate them, the older they are, when they make it to the feed yard, the older the bull is, there's about a 3% chance that, he don't make it out of there. So anyway, the younger the better. Get it done. Why do you think they do it? Why do you think they do it to us, to the human folks when we're young? Get it done, out of the way. I'm talking about castration, but you know what I'm talking about. You get that kind of stuff done early while they're young. Maybe you don't remember. Maybe you forget. Think about yourself when you're a youngster. If that happened to you. Not talking about castration, but you know what I mean. Anyway, would you rather that happen while you're a youngster, or you want to wait till you're older and do it then? I don't think so. I don't think you would. I don't. I really don't. I don't think so. All right, let's jump into. I don't know how long we've been rambling here, but we gotta get this done. There's been way too much rambling going on. All right, let's talk about the law. And once again, don't get upset because I don't proofread anything. I don't like to proofread. I think it takes out the element of surprise. When I read these stories that are handed to me, I like to be surprised when I read the story. That way I can be just as surprised as you are when I say it. Because when I say it, I'm surprised myself as I said it. As surprising as you heard it, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Texas landowner lien for damaged fence. This comes from Tiffany Dow. She's the Texas law expert, ag law expert. To whom does this apply? The lien provides the landowner own the property and close the fence or the structure often designed to exclude intruders or contain livestock, may obtain a lien against the motorist who damaged the fence. Okay. With a motor vehicle, if the vehicle is owned by the motorist or if the motorist has consent to drive. So whoever runs over your property, you can put a lien on them. If they hit your fence, tear it up. How much is it for? The statute provides that the amount of the landowner's lien is the lesser of a fair market value of the motor vehicle on the date the fence is damaged. The actual costs incurred by the landowner to repair the fence and recapture any livestock or other animals that escaped as a direct result of damage to the fence. It costs to have the vehicle towed and stored. Additionally, the lien grants a landowner the right to select a towing service to remove the abandoned vehicle from the property. Okay, so that's just saying if they wreck it and then some drunk runs off the road and runs through your fence and they take off running. That happened one time when I was a youngster. When I was at the Grandpa's farm. Old Diamond K, Black Angus Ranch. Diamond K Ranches out there in Wills Point, Texas. We was getting ready to go to church one Sunday morning back when I was a youngster and went outside and somebody had happened to run through the corner post. Boop. And run through the fence, back up, and they left. But you know what they forgot? They forgot their license plate. They probably thought nothing about it at the time, but in retrospect, that was a bad idea. Anyway, to what property does it attach? The lien attaches only to the motor vehicle that caused the damage to the fence. It does not attach to any other assets of the driver or the vehicle owner. So you can only get a lien on the vehicle itself, I'm guessing. How's the lien obtained? The landowner must obtain court order granting such a lien. How's the lien perfected? In order to perfect the lien on the vehicle, the landowner must have it recorded on the title as provided by the Texas Transportation Code section 501.111.117. This requires recording the lien in the Texas Department of Motor Vehicle System, blah, 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 blah. Okay. When is the lien discharged? The lien is discharged upon the payment being made to the landowner. All right, so basically what this is saying is, after I done mumbled for, seems like 5 hours or 5 minutes, somebody runs through your fence, you take ownership of that vehicle until they pay. So if they run through your fence and crash, especially if the vehicle is immobile and they can't drive it, you get your own tow truck to come get it, tow it off, and you hold that vehicle hostage till they pay up. That's what I got from that whole story. I could be right. I could be wrong. I don't know. Our next story brought to you by Rodeo Clothing, House of Lords. House of Lords, Rodeo Clothing Company. The shirts that you see me wearing pretty much 90% of the time are Rodeo Clothing Company. Rodeo Clothing Company. Say that 10 times fast. They're made by House of Lords. So if you're Googling on the internet, you're looking them up, look up House of Lords. Because Rodeo Clothing is a division of House of Lords. And that's for shirts like this. I mean, if you're going down to your local Western store and you're paying $60, $70, $80 for shirts that resemble this, well, you can get these for half, or even less than half the cost of that stuff you're buying at, the big box Western stores. So, in case you're wondering about that and you want to get some shirts that don't look like everybody else, you don't want to be like everybody else. You want to stand out. You want to be different. That's where you get your shirts. House of Lords, Rodeo Clothing Company. The only thing is, when you're looking online, their catalog online, the shirts are great, and they're nice shirts when you get them, but the pictures that they have, they look weird. I'm sorry. The shirts look weird when you look at them online. And I think that's part of the issue. That when you're shirt shopping and you look at the shirt, you're like, wow, that kind of looks funny. Well, I don't know who took their pictures or how they put their catalog together, but it's kind of, because that's what happened to me when I was picking out shirts. When our sponsorship came about and they sent me the catalog to pick out shirts, I was like, I don't know. And then I picked them out. They showed up. I was like, wow, dang, these are nice. So if you're looking at online, you're looking at a 2. And when it shows up, it's a 10. Who's winning now? All right, let's talk about horses. Everybody's got horses. Matter of fact, I got horses outside and across country. I got a horse over there in way over there. Godly, Texas. I got a mare. One of my mares over there. You've probably seen her on the internet a time or two. I sent her over there to get get a little testing. Just see what she can do. You know, I bring a horse in that's been so muddy over here and dirty and nasty and really ain't been able to do anything. And I rode that horse. I've rode her, I don't know, probably 10 times I brought her in. I hadn't really had a chance to take her anywhere and test her out because it's been raining every dang day. So I sent her off to some good folks over yonder in Godley to put a little time on her. Just see what she can do. You know, I'm not looking for anything fancy. I just want to know what her limitations are, what she can do. And we'll divulge more of that information on the next episode. But I want to tell you about this. March the 8th at the Omni Hotel in Fort Worth, Texas, is the American Quarter Horse Association Convention. It's a lot of stuff going on. You're going to have equine industry business workshops. You're going to have meetings. You're going to have a boot scooting foundation. What? Oh, it's a party. 6:30 on Saturday night. Oh, okay, you got a party. Boot scooting party. Go and get your boot scooting on. Okay. On Thursday, you're going to have a horse. What? They scattered this. They should have put these in order. A horse farm tour. There's a horse farm tour. We're going to tour some of the horses. A wine tasting. I didn't know they had quarter horse wine, but apparently there's quarter horse wine. I don't know if it's made out of horse. Well, wine tasting. They're going to have one of those. Why would you have a wine tasting at a horse convention? I don't know. I guess I can't say much because we got 7SC Ranch wine. We got bottles of wine if you'd like to purchase some of those. So I guess I can't speak too different on that. But it just ain't wine if you have. It just ain't different at them. But maybe not. Maybe I'm expecting a whiskey convention. I did go to a whiskey convention in Dallas one time. That's where I ended up with that deal with that one whiskey company. It worked. We had it. It was all right for a while. We had a good partnership there for a little bit. We had some disagreements on the signage on their advertising. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. Don't try to sell the Western image to the Western people with a bogus logo and a bogus, people pick that. People are going to see that. Like, what are you, this is not what I'm talking about. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get all legal lead on that deal. All right, before I round out, I've done burnt enough of your time, tickled your ears, burnt your eyes, but we're going to talk about something serious. Your horse's colic. Talk about colic. Signs of colic. In case you're wondering about that. Turning the heat toward the flank. Pawing. Kicking or biting at their abdomen. Stretching out like they're going to urinate, but not doing it. Laying down, getting up, or just trying to get up. Rolling around crazily. Not like, a horse normally roll, but I mean when they're like rolling around violently. Sitting like a dog, sitting like a dog. In dog position or lying on their back. Don't want to eat. Putting their head down in the water, don't drink. Lack of bowel movements. Absence of reduced digestive sounds, which that kind of goes along with the other. Heavy sweating, rapid respiration, flared nostril, elevated pulse, greater than 52 beats a minute. All right, come on now. Depression, really? You're going to go out there and look at a horse and you can tell if it's depressed or not? I'm going to call BS on that one. Lip curling or cool extremities. Any of these signs right here, signs for colic, look for. Especially those of you that like to stall your horses up in stalls. I've said it a lot of times that I like, we keep our horses out in the pasture. They run out in the pasture. The only time they're in the stall is to eat. They come in, they eat, and they get back out. I'm not a fan of keeping horses in stalls, but I understand why a lot of folks have to do it. If you do, hey, you do. But just keep an eye on your horses. Make sure you don't have any issues, any colics. That's not good. Not good. I had to make that call one time. It was probably... 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. of our champagne stud that we had here for years. Because our being a stud, we got a stud lot. It's probably about it's probably 100 by 100 lot that the stud ran into. It was a big lot for the stud. We kept him at him. Anyway, one year he'd call it, and about 1 o'clock in the morning we had to call the vet out to come out here and tube him and do all that mess, and dollar bills, y'all. Colic is expensive. So anyway, keep an eye on your horses. Keep them hydrated. Keep that stuff flowing through. You don't want to have any issues with that. And also, if you're following along on the Pepper Stewart on Facebook, be sure and do that because we're about to kick off the giveaway for the tickets for the American that's coming up at AT&T Stadium. We told you earlier about the semifinals that are going to be taking place in Fort Worth at the Stockyards, but after the semifinals are done and those folks are chosen to make it to the actual American event at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, that's where you want to be. We're going to be giving tickets away on Facebook on the Pepper Stewart and probably on Instagram. We may put some information out on the Instagram, but the place to enter is going to be on the Facebook on the Pepper Stewart. If you want to get a shot at tickets for that, we just got done with our tickets for the PBR Global Cup that's going to be taking place next month. So our next giveaway is going to be for the American.
The richest weekend in Western sports is coming to the home of the Dallas Cowboys. RFD-TV's The American returns to AT&T Stadium March 2nd and 3rd. Tickets start at just $10. Someone could win $1 million at the rodeo where dreams come true. RFD-TV's The American, AmericanRodeo.com.
I said next month. Next month is the PBR Global Cup. March is the American. That's what he just told you.